Libra, thank you for joining me. This is your astrology for June 2016. Now, you'll notice that this is a positive month. It's a very busy month and you'll feel pushed and pulled in lots of different directions. The main reason for that is that there's a grand cross in the sky for pretty much most of the month. It started forming on the 26th of May and it'll stay in place until the 27, 28-ish of June, okay? So a grand cross is four squares connecting to create this big square diamond, and it impacts a lot of different areas in your life. So for instance, in your case, you're going to have quite a strong connection and a real positive relationship with kind of spiritual, practical spirituality at the moment. So you'll get a lot from things like yoga and walking meditation and just even hiking in nature, and all of that kind of thing is going to feel very nurturing and healing to you. At the same time, you may feel like there's some sort of restriction or some sort of difficulty when it comes to communicating what you really want and getting your point over. The other thing that comes into play is that you have an idea and a dream and a desire of what you want to do work-wise, and then you also want to go traveling. So the big thing is travel, the physical world, expanding, taking information in, maybe finding that there isn't the opportunity to do that and having a frustrated sense of, well, I want to learn because I want to change my day-to-day routine, my working life, I want to be self-employed, or I want to reduce my commute. So there's a lot going on there, okay? And these kind of issues are going to connect and bump into each other throughout June. And it's going to be a time where it's important for you to keep it simple and not to lose your temper and not to kind of say, oh, screw it, you know, I've had enough, I keep trying, nothing ever goes my way, da-da-da-da-da. And the good thing to take from this is that you certainly will have a lot of energy to do all of these things, but don't spin yourself out. Try and keep it simple and do one thing at a time. On the 2nd of June, there's a grand trine that appears in the chart, and this stays in place until the 7th of June. So both of these things are major aspect patterns. If you compare this with the tarot, these are the major arcana cards. These are the big, heavy themes. These aren't minor, trivial things. These are big energies. And a grand trine is 3 trines connecting to create a big triangle. It's in water. It connects your Mars in Scorpio, part of fortune in your 10th, and your Chiron in your 6th, okay? So there will be a sense of, I need to do something, I need to bust out of this cage that I'm in, and I need to do something at work that is actually healing and supportive to other people. So even if you're someone who's not interested in healing or taking care of anybody else at all, you may get the sense of, you know, what is my contribution to the world? What am I really doing? Is this worthwhile? Is this meaningful? Don't be hard on yourself with that, because I don't think in your case this is so much genuine questioning as I think it's the ego trying to play with you a little bit and try and make you feel like you're not doing good enough. You are doing good enough. You've got a lot on your plate. You can only do so much. And I think these two kind of things work together to make you feel like you're not busy enough and it's not meaningful enough. And all you ought to be doing is taking things even slower and doing one thing at a time and knowing that that's good and right. So it's very important for you to be nice to yourself, to give yourself lots of positive affirmations, feedback. Thank you for going to the store. Thank you for waking up at 8 a.m. and doing what you're doing. Really be nice to yourself this month. On the 3rd and 4th of June, the moon hops over your midheaven. So on the 3rd, it's in Taurus in your 8th house. It moves over the midheaven on the 4th and sits in Gemini in your 9th house. So what you're going to feel is, I think you're going to feel quite comfortable, or like you understand what your existing job is. You know, you feel like, okay, I know what's happening here. I know what it looks like. I know what my day-to-day is going to look like. It's pretty routine, and I even feel like I know what the future kind of is going to look like. When the moon jumps over that midheaven, it's almost like, but I'm starting to get ideas, I'm starting to get wonderful, loving ideas of what I could do in future and what I would really like to do. And how I can see myself growing and expanding and leaving behind this routine and really blossoming as a human being and doing something that isn't just work, but that is my life purpose, manifested in my working life. So this is a really positive time now within all of this other energy, that it's like the eye of the storm. So focus on the loving, good, positive message that comes through in the midst of all of this. On the 5th of June, the new moon occurs, and that also occurs in your 9th house of expansion, growth, education. The new moon pulls energy in. Gemini is about information, it's inspiration, it's ideas, it's finding out things that will lead you to this place of enlightenment. In your 9th house of education is particularly happily placed, and you're going to be the one sign of the zodiac this month who gets the most valuable information, the most transformative information that can really alter your life in terms of what your skills are, what you're doing, where you live, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And even though it may feel like you can't express yourself, it's okay. Don't try and have all the answers. Instead, really listen, because you're being given some real gems and some real treasures via your life. So really, really engage with that process. I really want to overemphasize, or really emphasize strongly, that out of all of the 12 signs, you will get the information which can have the greatest impact on your life moving forward. On the 7th of June, the moon goes into Cancer in your 10th house. And what you're really going to be aligned with, and what you're intuitively going to know and feel, is what I can do to help and heal other people is ... And it will really start to become clear how you can apply yourself to heal other people. And again, it may be that you're not a humanitarian, that you're not interested in helping others, that you're interested in having financial security, financial structure, and that's it, okay? But even if you are one of these people, you're going to understand what your aptitudes and gifts are, and that if you did use them a certain way, that you could have a great healing impact on the lives of other people. And whether you use it or not is up to you, but at least you'll get the information. And information is key, especially when it comes to knowing about your life purpose, because once you have the info, then you can actually take action on it. So it's massively liberating. On the 9th of June, a yod appears in the chart, and a yod is also known as the finger of God. It's very kind of karmic. What this does is it gives you a sense of, I think your friendships are going to be very good this month. Okay, I think your friends will really appreciate you. I think they'll appreciate your sense of humor, your wit, your ability to look at things with kind of tongue-in-cheek kind of way, and to overcome things that other people may struggle with. And what this will, and I think you show great grace and resilience when it comes to dealing with changes that are going on in your life, and you work as an inspiration to other people to help them see that you're going through your stuff with dignity and charm and grace, and that they too can do that. So that's one way that you'll immediately notice you're helping other people, even though it's indirect. So realize that anything you're going through at the beginning of June or around the 9th of June isn't just about you. It's about other people, and other people will be watching you, how you get through these things and what you're doing with your circumstances, and that will be either an inspiration or a strong influence on how other people get through their own stuff. On the 9th of June as well, the Sun and Venus, they conjunct in your 9th house. They're both at 19 degrees, 1 and 9 is 10, and 10 reduces to 1 in numerology, which is about leadership, taking charge, new beginnings. It's in your 9th house. So really what you're going to love the most, and out of the signs, what you're going to have the greatest gift for in June is travel and education. You really have the potential to exceptionally boost your skills, or to learn and discover new skills, and you can also learn and grow and have majorly kind of transformative experiences, plural rather, when you go on a trip, when you go on holiday, and when you discover something new. So the love for the world, the love for information is going to ensure that you are like a sponge absorbing things, and that's really going to be of benefit. On the 11th and 12th of June, the moon goes into Virgo, and it joins your rising sign in Virgo. your Jupiter in Virgo, and your North Node in Virgo. And they all sit in the 12th house. So again, you are the ultimate understanding person of the zodiac this month, because you have all of these comprehensive skills where you can take situations and you can look at them, and even if they seem chaotic on the surface, you can break things down into even patterns, make sense of them, and understand what the meaning is. So if you go on a trip and you go, let's say you go to Thailand and you go fishing and you discover this little island and you have all of these experiences, you will be able to read between the lines and understand what that says about the world, what it says about you, and it will give you some sort of guidance in terms of what you should do when you're back home in your day-to-day routine life, okay? So you're the ultimate person who can get answers, spiritual messages from the mundane, from information that may seem academic or that has nothing to do with spirituality, and you're a meaning-making machine this month, okay? You're an understander. That's the word. You get it. You understand what's going on, and you can really create order in your life, in your mind, ordering your ideas, your thoughts. It's really lining things up very neatly and getting your life back on track, getting your life sorted out, getting your life in order. I mean, a lot of times when people have great success or something, things can become overwhelming, or sometimes there may be a lack of direction and you don't know what to apply yourself to. You're the person who's really like a life coach, a life manager, because you can take all the information that is there, really figure out the best way to move forward and apply that in a practical way and then actually move forward. So if there are people in your life, in your friends who are aimless or something, if they need to know what to do with their lives, they should go to you for a reading, because you're going to be in a good position to support them and help them and give them some answers, okay? So think of yourself as a bit of an oracle to others and a support to others and to yourself. And that in itself is going to give you meaning and insights into what you ought to be doing. On the 13th of June, Mercury goes into Gemini, again in your 9th house. So make sure you expose yourself to as much as possible. Information is king. You really understand things that are really beyond you in other times, and you can really tackle things which are extremely complicated. So even if you are studying and there's something you've been putting off because it's the hardest, tackle it in June, you'll get it. On the 14th, the moon goes into your sign of Libra. Wonderful. So this is a great day for you to feel very much at peace within yourself. It's at 17 degrees in your sign, cardinal air, and it's power, it's personal power, knowing exactly what you want to do and how you can move forward in your life, independently, in your relationships, what's going to happen next. What are you going to do next? You'll know on the 14th when you ask yourself that question. And your relationships and your circumstances are going to change as a result of your decisions, and they're going to change for the better. You really are, I don't know what other way I can describe it, but you really are an oracle. You understand questions that have just been beyond you. And there's something else at work here. Your guides are really speaking very clearly into your ear. Spiritually, you have great strength and you have a great sense of connection, and everything just clicks into place. On the 16th, the Lyrid meteor shower is at its peak. It's begun on the 10th of June and it lasts until the 21st. But this is really, usually a meteor shower in astrology is like a cleansing. It's like being showered and being able to let go of things. What this is for you is little tidbits of information, little magical blue lights coming into your life, urging you to look into this and maybe to look into that and maybe to explore that a little bit and see if you can understand that. Go with everything that presents itself. It will enrich your life. On the 17th, the moon is in Scorpio and it connects with Mars in your 2nd house, also in Scorpio. The thing that you have a little bit of difficulty this month is with your sense of purpose and direction when it comes to your work. I think you may be somewhat dissatisfied and you may not feel like you're living the dream there. Don't push that too much and don't get frustrated. You're doing all of the research anyway. You're in a process of discovering. You're making sense of things. So help yourself, help others, but don't resent the way things are, and don't get angry that you're in a job that, you're in the job that you've been in for the last 5 years and nothing has changed. And don't judge yourself according to where you are in your life now. You're doing a lot of work behind the scenes to better yourself, to progress, and you're okay just the way you are right now. Don't put so much pressure on yourself, and I really feel that you're going to be very ambitious and driven to get somewhere, to lift yourself out of the crowd, to really be something special and important. And that's a lot of pressure, because you're asking yourself to do better than everyone else. So just realize that you're doing everything you can, you're answering the questions, you're listening, you're learning, and that's good. On the 18th of June, the Virgo Pisces angle becomes very strong in your life, and the opposition between those two is very powerful. The reality of your working life at the moment is something that you do need to look at and to feel those feelings. And I mentioned that just a moment ago. You may feel a little bit like, oh my goodness, I've underachieved here. Look at that and feel whatever comes with it. It may not be 100% positive, but mull that over, make sense of it. Remember, that's your big keyword for June. You are the sense maker. Make sense of it, see what it means, what you can do differently. Put that into practice, and you can alter, transform, change your working life. So you're working very closely to spirit, and you may seem to other people, you may seem a little bit absent. You may seem absent-minded, like you're daydreaming, or you may actually be physically absent because you're exploring, studying, traveling. It's okay to be absent. You don't need to be there for everybody else all the time. This is your month of making sense of your life, and give yourself that time and space to figure things out for yourself. You can't do that if you're taking care of someone else. Venus goes into Cancer on the 18th, so you're going to fall in love with some way of working and a career that is of service and is of help to other people, and things kind of shift towards that. Everything's like, how can I help via my career? On the 20th, the full moon occurs, and this happens in Sagittarius, in your 3rd house. The full moon is a blossoming, and it's in Sagittarius, so it's the seeker. This is particularly apt for you because it'll give you even more fuel to discover and to pursue these higher realms of knowledge so that you can understand and you can break out of your prison. That's really what I feel, that you feel like, oh, I need to get out of this. There's that sense of irritability and restlessness. It's also the pagan festival of the summer solstice, which is the beginning of this period when light rules everything. So align yourself with that and realize that we're entering a time where nature is at her loveliest, and there's light everywhere and there's positivity, and the work that you're doing now will serve you in future. So again, be nice to yourself, be nice to yourself. You're doing a lot of tough work. Pat yourself on the back, be nice to yourself. On the 21st, the sun goes into Cancer. Your identity will be aligned with how can I be of service, how can I heal, how can I help. On the 23rd and 24th, Mars begins to quincunx Uranus, and there will be strong ideas of going out there independently and doing it on your own. Being in charge of your relationship, saying, I am this, and if you don't like it, you can, there's the door. In terms of work, I want to be self-employed. I don't want to be listening to someone else. I want to be doing my own thing. I listened to a thing on David Bowie this morning on Facebook, and he was saying that if you're an artist, it's very important that you work for yourself and that you give life to your own vision, your own purpose. And that's what you're doing. You're becoming your own artist, an artist in your own life, creating your life as your canvas. And that is an important job. And people who don't do the kind of work that you're doing in June, they aren't going to create a masterpiece because they haven't put that much thought and effort into things. You're putting thought and effort into things, and you're Libra. You're a creative genius. You're ruled by Venus. You know how to create. And the work that you do now will be massively transformational in your future. On the 25th, Mercury conjunct your midheaven. So by this time, I think specifics will have started to drop in. Be a anesthesiologist, be an author, be a historian. It will become more specific if you want to make changes. If you have decided to stay in your existing job, it will be find this to complement me, to make me a more rounded person. You know, not every job has to be the be-all and end-all. You can work at Macy's and do yoga on the side and be fulfilled. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Macy's. Some people, for them, that will be the fulfillment of their life purpose. Only you can answer exactly what's going to be right for you. So if other people are pushing you, then just say, this is my journey. The moon is in Aries at 2 degrees in your 7th house on the 27th. So the focus now becomes on taking charge of your romantic relationship life. The working side of things, tick, done and dusted. Now the next big thing you're tackling is relationships. And that's the kind of attitude you've got. I am sorting everything out. So you're the big boss. Grand trine in water on the 29th. Again, feel your feelings when it comes to work and what you can do to be more loving, to be more caring. And then finally, at the end of the month, Mercury also goes into Cancer, and everything is going to be focused on that. How can I be of service? And when I started to think in my life, how can I be of service to others, that's when my life started working. When I was thinking, how can I get a job to make money, my life didn't work. So you're experiencing that shift now, and I hope it's useful. I hope it's very, very enriching. If you'd like a personal private reading with me, please get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the Readings tab and order your reading there. Remember to subscribe to this channel on YouTube and join me on Facebook. I do a weekly astrology forecast for all signs of the zodiac. Facebook.com/GregoryScott444. Enjoy June, and I'll speak to you soon.